All right, guys. Thank you for coming in bright and early. I know it's a little more earlier than your normal meetings at 8:30, but I got a plane to catch in a little bit, so we wanted to have you guys. And whenever I come to town, I like to have a little meeting with you. Anybody have any guesses why I'm coming around and doing sales meetings right now, Ben?
You are, well, beginning of the year, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, you want to make sure it's a tight process and everyone's following it.
Yeah.
to the T.
Yeah. Tanner, anything else you think?
Well, they always say before that if you ever show up, there's something that we need to work on.
Kind of. This is my 35th February in the car business. That's a lot. I'm an old guy. So what 35 years does in the car business makes you understand what February is. And February is the toughest month of the year. It's the shortest month and the toughest month. So I make sure that everybody understands that, because if you don't really ramp up and level up in February and do the same things that maybe you did in July and August, we're not going to hit our targets. You're not going to hit it. So when I see some guys hitting 12 and maybe only a few guys and the rest of the crew didn't hit their targets, it's because that maybe we just need to level up, right? So it's kind of just re-emphasizing what the grind is in February. You're going to have to work twice as hard in February as you're going to have to in June to probably sell the same amount. So, and then when we take that into play, well, what does that mean? What does grinding mean? It means like there's lots of action plans because your opportunities are way less on what you have to do to create opportunities. So for today, what I wanted to do is kind of emphasize and kind of go through on how you guys should be, where the opportunities are coming from, and then what we got to do, right? So today's not going to be like earth-shattering. It's not like you're going to be like, wow, I've never heard something like that before. What my hope is coming here is that you get a little inspired, motivated, and you realize that there's some things you're doing every day that you're not doing and that you got to start putting into place so that you can finish the month off and get yourself with better habits, okay? So the exercise I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to write down where you think all the opportunities are coming from. For yourself personally, Evan, you can do for the store, okay? And then I want you to rate them from top to bottom, where you think they're coming from, okay? See Mark glancing at someone else's there. He's kind of like one of those guys on the exam that kind of looks over them. This isn't an open book, buddy. You gotta do your own.
I got my own.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna count how many I have. I have 8. How many people have 8? 7? 7?
Just trying to think of it. I have 7 as well.
How many do you have? 6? How many do you have?
I'm at 5.
You're at 5? How many do you have?
4.
4? 7?
5.
5?
6.
Okay, since Mark was done first, let's go
So let's call Flabber to go from top to bottom here.
top to bottom.
Okay, so net leads, number 1, sales call, number 2, ups, 3, social media, 4, referrals, 5.
Okay, there's actually 9. I forgot sales calls. Okay. Okay. How about you? Which ones did he miss?
I missed out on service leads.
Okay. Write that down. Whoever doesn't have it. Okay. Claire, which ones did they miss?
Repeat business.
Okay, write it down if you don't have it. Tanner?
Repeat business. Like prospecting?
What does that mean?
Like new customers, friends, family, like new people you bring in.
Well, that's too generic. That's not a source. Prospecting is not a source.
Okay.
I'm looking for a source. Ben, what other ones?
For me personally, top is marketplace, social media.
Social media. Does everyone have social media written down?
Yep.
Okay. Tom?
Yeah, paid leads, database, referrals, Facebook and social, and repeat customers.
Okay. So how many was that?
Pardon?
How many do you have there?
So those are the first 5 that I had because I'm not really taking ups or inbound calls or things like that.
Right.
Ups, inbound calls, service lists.
Okay. So we got service leads, referrals, circle of influence. I didn't see anyone write that down. You did? Nice.
Self-marketing.
Is that not the same as prospecting?
No. Prospecting is a task. Circle of influence is a source. I asked for sources.
Would that be kind of similar to referrals then?
Is that not people
No,
you know?
referrals is separate.
Okay.
Okay. Repeats, social media, database, fresh customers, sales calls. And I guess we could add internet leads as well, so that would be 10. Right? Okay, now where did you rate the top one, Mark?
Net leads.
Okay, Tanner, what was your top?
Probably Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. I forget your first name, sorry.
Bianca.
Bianca. Okay, it'll take me a little bit here to remember. Okay, Bianca, what did you put as your number one source?
Well, what I've been learning so far is either marketplace or service customers.
Tom, your number one source?
Database.
Database?
Repeat business.
Repeat business. Okay, Ben?
Yeah, I'm surviving. Facebook marketplace, referrals, repeats would be my top 3, 100%.
Okay, what's number one?
Facebook right now, 100%.
Okay, what's the worst one?
Well, circle of influence I've purchased, but that's not my worst one. I would say my worst personally would be the service customers. I don't do nearly enough follow-up with
Okay.
them.
Okay.
And then lead generation
Okay.
companies, there's nothing about
Evan, can I see what you wrote for the store?
Yeah, currently our biggest opportunity is internet leads in this
Okay.
season.
Okay, so you wrote that most of our leads come from internet leads sources. Okay. And then 2 is service. So kind of, and okay. 3rd was sales calls.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 was walk-ins. 5 was referrals. 6 was social media. 7 was repeat. 8 was cold calls, and 9 was circle of influence. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. So, yeah, so I guess when I look at February, and our top 3 are generated from the dealership, and not from us going out and grinding, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a huge problem if that's what all they're coming from. So when you have your top 4 coming from just people that are coming in for service or repeats or database, or you're waiting for an internet lead, that's a huge problem. So that's why I'm here, is because I actually thought that it was going to be close to that. But I mean, ideally, you know, we want to get a large percent of customers from referrals, circle of influence, and social media, especially in February. If you're not really drilling down on those 3, it's gonna be a problem. So let's go through real quickly the service. Walk me through the service process.
For our service leads, so we have a tool called Absolute Drives, and it generates an offer. It'll
Yeah.
put in a trade, and
Yeah.
it'll desk 3 deals at full MSRP.
Mhm.
So the day before, I'll send that offers out via email and text to all those
Yeah.
customers in the morning, and then in the afternoon about 1 o'clock, I'll print out the lists. I'll go through the service list, audit the do not calls out, and
Okay.
write the salesperson's name that owns the customer
Okay.
based on their proper follow-up. And then the list, whoever comes and asks me first in the morning for the service list, I'll
Okay.
dedicate that list to them to phone them for the next day. But
Okay.
I roll through and make it fair. Everyone has an opportunity to have
Okay.
a full day of service.
Yeah. So here's the best practice on service. Do you have? Are you pulling the history of what they did in service?
Some of the time, not all of the
Okay,
time.
so that's where, you know, if you want to make a really good call, and I say this, whether you're doing the database or whether you're doing service, you have to drill down. If you don't have service history, then you have to. We want to know what they did. We want to know how much they spent on that vehicle they've been in service. You know, and it's like when you really think about it, we have, you know, everything's about data right now. You got all these AI companies and all this type of thing. So, you know, when you really think about it, so we have a customer that dealt with us that either bought a car or is buying service off us. We have all their information, where they live, what they do, where they work, how much they've spent in service, all those type of things. And then sometimes we're calling them without looking at any of that information. That makes no sense. Makes zero sense not to have a strategy when you call someone. So you have to pull all their information, and then you have to find out what's the benefit for them, right? So I like to know how much they spent on service over the last year. I like to know, you know, what they owe in their car. I want to know everything and anything I can find that we have before I make that call. Okay. And the other thing is, you know, and we'll kind of go right into because repeats or service is kind of tied into database and repeats as well. They're all three kind of connected, right? The other thing is, you know, when we're making calls, we want to target. We want to have a target demographic. So like, it's the same thing of the boiler rooms. How many boiler rooms did we do last month? Two. Okay. Were they really calculated, and how did you feel that we executed?
I think we do good. I target the data, like you said. I go through
Okay.
Our traffic, and I'll print everybody's last month walk-ins.
Okay. In February, I recommend you do more than two.
Do more than two?
It's a grind.
Yeah. Okay.
Like whatever you're doing, ramp up. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So, and same with database. Like if you're going to do database marketing, don't just like print a list and then have a whole bunch of people making calls. I want you to find what target, what car, what type of vehicles we should be, what you have in stock, everything like that. Like if you're going to do some target calls, then have a strategy. Don't just like print lists and say, hey, everybody make 10 calls. That's not a strategy, right? So what I suggest is you really drill down on people and target which people are in the market, which cars we're going to go after, what's the best trade-in values right now, all those type of things. And then when you're having these boiler rooms or when you're having these call blitzes and you're trying to generate some leads, you actually have a plan, right? So I would really recommend that. So that goes through that. Circle of influence. What did I mean by circle of influence? Claire?
Friends, family.
Okay. Okay, so one thing that just happened, I don't know if you guys seen any of the social media posts, but we just went out for supper to celebrate Victoria Hyundai's, they won an award. All of Hyundai had this video, a social media video, so they gave us $2,000 towards a supper and that type of stuff. So we all celebrated as a team, and Derry had put a video together with all the salespeople. So yeah, congratulations, but it was good. Anyway, the point of that is we went for supper, and the supper didn't go quite as good. And so the manager came over and met me. And then we ended up getting some gift cards, but I carded them, and you know, she's already emailed me and said I might be looking for a vehicle. So the point that I'm having is circle of influence. How many of you guys, when you're buying things, actually card the person and let them know what you do for a living? That's what circle of influence is. So it's also your friends, your family members, all that type of things, right? And I think sometimes we're missing that. I told a story yesterday about back in the day, so I'm dating myself again. Ben might have heard this one, but back in the day when I lived in Weyburn, I used to, you know, so once a week or once every 10 days you're mowing the lawn, right? And so I'm getting the lawnmower out, I'm mowing the lawn, and I noticed the next door neighbor, he was a guy that worked on the roads because it was in the oil industry, so he was always on the rigs and stuff. So I always mowed his lawn for him. So every 10 days I would mow his lawn for him. You know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, he always thanked me, and we had a beer and this and that. But what happened one time, I went on a vacation, I came back, and I noticed a car in his driveway, a new car. And I'm like, what is this? What happened? So I waited for a few days, and then I seen him in the backyard, and I went and talked to him. I said, hey, I noticed you got a new car. What happened? He goes, yeah, man, I even went to your dealership and bought it from them. And I was like, okay. He goes, yeah, I mean, I knew you worked there. And I just thought I'd go there. And I mean, you obviously get something out of that, right? So how many times has that happened to someone? Has that happened to you ever, Tanner? Someone that you knew might have came in and bought a car from someone else?
It's my new, like all my friends are in Alberta.
Yeah.
When I was doing sales, but
Yeah. Okay.
go by there instead of me.
Okay. But you guys get where I'm coming from? So I kind of made a commitment to myself that I'm going to make sure that everybody I meet or everybody I do business with knows how I earn my living, knows, what kind of career I'm in, and I'm going to make sure that I identify that and how they should do if they want to do business. So now it's just a habit. I start carding people. I probably have sold more servers because I eat out a lot than anybody you never met. Because, servers are a good one because you give them a card and sometimes they'll put it, sometimes they throw it in the garbage, but, at least every 2 or 3 months I'll get someone that I might have served me 3 months ago and they'll say, hey, I'm looking for a car now. You gave me your card. So those are easy ones, guys, but I guess the point I was trying to make is you have to do it. You have to actually tell people what you do for a living. I mean, Derry's going to get up and talk a little bit about the social media aspect, but even when you're interacting with people in the circle of influence, it's really important that you put yourself out there because you should be, doing that part of it, carding people, making sure. Now, Perry's also got the digital. How many of you guys have the digital card yet? Okay, so we're going to make sure the rest of you get that as well, but it's a digital card, so which is the new thing where, you can just put up your phone and then they get the card as well, right? They get all your contact information, right? So I think that's even important. For yourself, even going after repeats with people that financed before, like, you know what I mean? If you're a finance manager and you're calling someone back, you're actually a personal advisor now. So I'm a banker. So if I'm a banker and I know that people are going to trade their cars in every 2 years, and I'm going to start reaching out to people with high interest rates and whatnot and say, hey, listen, I would like to advise you on some good things I have. Once you get in your head that you should be doing that and make it part of our daily plan. So the reason why I rated that to you is because my guess is that all the things that you've written down there, you're not doing every day. Most of you are doing 1, 2, or 3 of them every day, and then you're not doing any of the other ones at all. So, a proper game plan and a proper strategy for your month should be that I'm going to have all these written down every day, and I'm going to dedicate some time to all of them. Right?
Yeah.
You've got 9, 8, 9, so you're going to be like, okay, what am I doing on Circle of Influence? What am I doing on referrals? What am I doing on social media? Because some of you aren't, there's some, like Mike is not here, but I mean, he's probably an 8 or 9 on social media. And then there's other people here that are 1 or 2 on social media. But you're missing a source there by not putting yourself out there, right? What else do we have here? Repeats, referrals. So the referrals, I'll go on that, and then we're gonna get Derry to come up. She has about 15 minutes of some good social media stuff. But on some referrals, so there's a proper way to do a referral, and there's a not a proper way. So an improper way in a referral would be when you're doing delivery, and then you just say, here's my card. If anything ever happens, please let me know, and think of me if you're ever looking for a car. Here's my card. Kind of like a little bit of a handshake, and you guys thinking that's asking for a referral. So a proper referral is to be really define it. So at the time of delivery is when you want to do it, but that would just be, it'd be like starting to climb Mount Everest. You're not going to get a lead then. You're not going to get a referral then, but you're starting the climb. But you have to define it first. You're going to say, hey, listen, just so you know, a large percentage of my customers is made of repeats and referrals. What I'd like to do is give you a call in 5 days and ask you if there's anyone that you might know that's buying a car the next 3 to 5 months. A family member, a coworker, someone that you might know that's buying in 3 to 5 months, and I'd like to put you on my payroll. Some of my customers are making anywhere from $300 to $500. How would that sound? You trying to ask for the referral when they just bought the car, they don't want to talk to you about that. They want to get in their car and get out of here. They just signed paperwork. They're going through all this technology stuff, right? And so that, but that extra 5 days from now, that's when you do the car film video. That's when you make it impressive. You're going to do a car film video. Say, hi, it's Evan. How's it going? How you enjoying your new car, man? Well, I just wanted to give you a quick video to make sure you know that if you need anything, I'm your guy. It's going to be high energy. It's going to have great content in this 95-second video. And then guess what you're going to do? You're going to hit them right then. You're going to say, hey, remember what I was talking about? My large percentage of customers made repeats and referrals. I just want a quick friendly reminder. If you know a friend, family member, anything like that. Because what are we doing when we tell them? Like, if you don't define what you're looking for. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to plant the seed, right? Does anybody know what the bamboo tree story is? Anybody know what a bamboo tree is? Okay, well, you can look it up. So bamboo tree basically is a tree. I'm not sure where do you know where the bamboo tree's from, Daria? China. Okay, there you go. Anyway, I did a little research on this. So basically how the bamboo tree works is you plant the seed, okay? And you have to water it every single day. And if you miss watering it, it's going to die. But then on around the 7th year, it starts to sprout. And then it grows to be about 9 feet tall. But the analogy is, and just the story, and if you forget to water it at all, the tree dies. You have to water it continually every single day to get the tree to grow to 9 feet tall. But you're not going to see a sprout. You're not going to see nothing for the first 3 years. So do you get the analogy of referrals? If you're not willing to put the time in on referrals, you're not going to get referrals. It can't be just the first time right after they bought the car in 5 days. Then you need to put it in your calendar after. And after, and after, and after. And after the 3rd or 4th time of watering that bamboo tree / customer, then they might register. It might be the 3rd or 4th video in car film. Where now it's going to be like, you know what? They're having coffee with a friend or a family member. They remember, they retained it after the 3rd video or the 3rd time you asked. They're going to be like, yeah, I'm thinking about going and getting a car. Oh, guess what? You know, ding, it happened right there. They have a little spot stored in their brain for you now. It wasn't after the first one. It was after the 3rd or 4th one. And then they're going to be like, you know what? I want you to go see Ben. This guy's a really great guy. He constantly talks to me. He gives me great service, and he's sending me videos all the time about this. You know what? I'm going to text him right now. Because when you invest in customers, they will invest back with you. I think sometimes we forget about that. We're looking for watering some tree, and then it's going to sprout the 2nd day, and just like, wow, we planted this tree, and we want it to grow within 3 to 5 days or a week. It doesn't happen. And that's the lesson in referrals. You have to dedicate parts every single day to work referrals from your previous customers, from anybody you know. So I really want to drill down on that. I think we're missing the boat on referrals. I don't think the guys' game plans are part of it. I don't think we're coaching and leading and teaching them enough on it, and we're not making them do it, right? So I want to see these videos going out. I want to see you guys, from 6 months ago sending from when we bought the car in September, when we first bought the dealership. I want to see some videos and some follow-up and some us going after those referrals, the people that bought, and seeing how they're doing with their friends and family members, right? So it's really important that we stress on that. Okay, I'm not going to talk about sales calls and fresh. We talked about repeats. We talked about service, the database, the target leads, the internet leads. How are we doing on that?
Sorry, I'm just writing.
Okay, no, go ahead. How are we doing on the internet leads? You said we're following them up basically one time, but you thought we might need a little bit more work on the 3rd and 4th and 5th?
I think everyone's a little bit spread thin with them because there's so many. The process is 3 manager touch on day 2. So
Okay.
we're definitely have room for improvement on
Okay.
internet leads.
How are we doing on doing a full walk-around video on the internet lead, on the car they're interested in, and sending them a video?
For the most part, and I know Mike and Amanda are super on that.
Okay.
Mark and Caleb are getting good on it, but
Okay.
room for improvement as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the idea, guys, is you're going to have all kinds of different internet leads. One type of internet lead is someone that's hot to buy, and they're hot, and they want to come see the car immediately, right? So those ones are real easy. Basically, anybody could do it, right? And I'm not meaning that. I mean, we could have a brand new salesman start tomorrow, and if I gave them an internet lead on a car that the person wanted, they could probably muddle through and get an appointment and get the guy here. It's the people that are just starting to look, or aren't really, or maybe indecisive. Those are the ones that we want to increase our closing ratios on. So the content and what we send and how we send it, and I really believe a car film and a video is really important, at least in the second one. Maybe not your first email, but your first email introduce them, but on the second one for sure it's got to come. Manager follow-ups are really important, where they know that if any of these guys mess up, any of them, they should know who you are, they should have a video of you, and they should know that, hey, I know you sent Tanner an email, I know you sent Mark an email, whatever. I'm the general sales manager. I just want you to know I'm here for you. If you have any questions, I'm going to make sure you get a great deal. And as the manager, they have a face to the name, and then we know that if a manager's at least touching every internet lead, it's going to increase by 10 or 15% closing ratio. So that is a must, right? Okay, well, I'm going to turn it over to Daria here, and she's going to go over some tips on social media. That was a big one, guys. I'll give you a story. We had a brand new salesman start yesterday at Victoria. No leads, no nothing. Had to do all the videos for training. Then obviously he's a young guy. I think he's 23 or 24, and he just got out of university, and he's a hockey player, and he posted on his Facebook and social media that he was a salesperson, any good deal, and then one of his followers that he had never met from the university reached out to him and said, I need a car, came down and bought a car on his first day. And it just, it really emphasizes what social media is. Sometimes we have this stigma like, oh, okay, that's my personal, I don't want to put anything about work on there, and I need to have a separate one for work. Like, get with it. You're not, if you want to have a career in the auto industry, you got to let people know who you are and what you do. And it should be part of your personal. That's where you're going to get the referrals. That's where you're going to get the circle of influence. Doesn't mean that you have to have a ton of content every day on that. Sometimes that too much content, and we'll talk to Mike a little bit, sometimes, just bombarding people with the exact same content every single day, no one's going to watch it as well. So if you notice, if you go through any of if you don't have me on Instagram, please look me up. But, I have a mix. I'll do some of the training, I'll do some fun stuff, and then, and then I travel and, some of that, and do fun things. So I try and mix it up on what my Instagram is, and that way you're hitting all kinds of people, right? So, but I would guess that everybody that looks at my Instagram or my LinkedIn or whatever knows what I do, and they know what I'm about, right? So, make sense?
Yep.
Okay, Daria, can I turn it over to you, and you go through some hot tips for these guys. I gotta hit the plane. Got a bit of a drive here, but again, I want to circle back on how we started the meeting, right? So the start of the meeting is about February, and we listed all those sources, right? And I really want you to take away is writing them all down and planning every day. So Daria gave you some good points on social media, and then you gotta, that should be one segment. Then you got your circle of influence, you got your repeats. That's my, that's my alarm that we should be already on the road. And then, and you know what I'm saying. So the how-to videos, I want to see an action plan on that, Evan.
Yeah.
I want to see you put every single person. I think a good one for you would be how the key works on the Jeep Wagoner. Okay. And how to boost a vehicle, right? Things like that, where you can have a story, you can tell them what happened. Me and him tried to boost, my Genesis with the Jeep Wagoner, and the key wouldn't work and stuff like that. And had we just had a quick how-to video we had reference, on our website, it would have made. So I mean, Daria touched base on it, but people want information, right? We just had Michael Wu did a how-to video on a Genesis. He got 4,900 views on the first day. I think he's at 15 or 20,000 already. So those type of people are going to reach out to him and whatever. So we got some great product. I think you guys are lucky that you have so much product. A lot of dealerships don't have any product. So we got 118 new and 85 used. So there's always something that we can put on. So that would be on the social media. But I really want you to drill down in February. So please put a plan together. Evan, this should be part of our game plans. on all these things, and you know what, we're going to get our internet leads, we're going to get our, you know, our generic traffic that we continue to get, but then you guys got to have a plan together on how you're going to generate your own traffic, and that's how you're going to have a good February. Okay? All right, thanks guys. All right.